So, you've come here to learn about a good gaming cable setup for beginners without sacrificing video quality or input latency. I'm not an expert in the subject since I only started building a setup a little while ago, but let me take you through the steps and maybe show you some of my setups over time cable-wise so we can find the most convenient and quality gaming setup for cheap. The first thing I got for my video game setup was a DVD/VHS player. I didn't even know my TV even had composite inputs at the time, so I needed to use this DVD player to get my consoles working on my TV. I would have to frantically pick through an input switch to get to my consoles. You can see this in my Excitebike64 video. And there was also weird stuff with the cable output being component cables that didn't share the red, green, and blue of the regular component cables. After acquiring both some consoles and the DVD player, I began using a cheap HDMI switch from eBay. It was bad, and I don't have it anymore for good reason, because half the time the button wouldn't even work. And I think it sucked into my TV's power supply to power its LED light, which I thought was really weird. And when I would try to go to bed at night, the LED light would keep me up because it didn't know how to turn off. Anyways, a great product. Shortly after acquiring the HDMI switch, I picked up a Retrobit RES Plus to play NES games through HDMI for about $30. It gets the job done, but stretches all the games out to 16:9 and there are slight audio issues. But it was an amazing deal for 30 bones and one of the cheapest ways to play NES stuff, period. Not even with HDMI capabilities. Shortly before that, I began using a cheap DVD player through HDMI. This sucks because my TV will even stretch the HDMI signal in the player past the screen border, making certain elements of the screen unseeable, so I began using composite video for this player. The same thing actually occurs on my Mac, which I have a Thunderbolt to HDMI adapter for, even though I am yet to find a Thunderbolt to composite or component adapter. I recently ran out of space for the player and now it sits in my bin of unnecessary game stuff with my Atari Flashback 2. I like my Atari Flashback 2 since it outputted composite, but I just couldn't have it on my shelf anymore due to space and the fact it couldn't play original Atari 2600 cartridges. A few weeks after acquiring the DVD player, I picked up a set of Wii component cables from a company called Old School. They work, but don't show too much of an improvement over my OEM composite cables I got with the system. I feel like if Nintendo had created a non-Wii U HDMI solution for the Wii, outputting in 720p, I would be way happier with the system. But being the only SD system in the 7th gen makes you think less of it. During this time, I picked up a PS1 for $30 at a used game store, and right now I only own the OEM composite cables that came with it. But I'm going to get the pound PS1 cable soon, which seems to have results comparable to the PS3 with 720p upscaling and native RGB signal, but I doubt it due to the quality of their other cables. Also, a week before I'm filming this, I got a cheap composite switch from a company called Fosman for about $6 on Amazon. It works great, and I don't see any loss in video quality from my regular consoles. The only problem I have with it is the depth grip it has on my cables, and the stiffness of the internal switch. Also, when you put a cable in, the internal components wiggle, which makes me think it's going to break sometime soon, next time I do one of these cable videos. I also got an automatic HDMI switch from the same maker as the composite one, Fosman. It's way better quality though. The LED still feeds off the TV's power supply, but I'm cool with it since it's only on when I switch inputs and shows the thing works. I only have one HDMI enabled device right now besides my MacBook, but once I get the PS1 pound cable, I will have a use for this thing, so basically it'll be useful in a few months when I get that. Also, legitimately the day before I began filming this, I ordered a Famicom to NES converter thingy, because I own some Famicom games now. The seller is the infamous My Arcade, known for things like plug and play NES game and arcade NES game. But it's their best product, so I think I'm in good hands. So that's how to set up game systems, make them look good, be convenient, and conserve space on a shelf. Anyways, for Lukasiguess, I'm Lucas, and wait! If you haven't seen a video from me in a month, I could leave and never come back! Before I go, I would like to give an update on this day's channel. I have a Halloween video coming by the end of the month along with an entry and an extra review crew video. I was gone for a month because I've been busy and not because I've given up on YouTube. You can probably in the future expect 1 to 2 vids from me a month at a longer length than my videos. My first longer video was received well and I would like to do more in the future. Mario Party 2 will probably be the video for November and will be nice and long, so look forward to that and any videos in the future. Bye bye!